Hello everyone, we're ready for the qualifying, but I'm just in pit lane here in Zhuzhou, and I'd like to grab a few reactions before the session. Inside Lynk Co's Iron Racing team, this team were fastest practice 1 and 2 in the wet and dry conditions. So at the moment looking pretty competitive. They're also going for the team's title and the driver's title with 2 drivers. So it's very important to get a few words with the team manager, Frederick Varlan, just to get his thoughts ahead of the races this weekend. Frederick, just a few words with you. I was just telling everyone at home, it's actually a home round for the team, isn't it, Iron Racing? So I'm guessing it's a pretty busy one for you guys.
Yeah, it's a busy one, a challenging one. Really excited to be back in China. We haven't been there for a few years, so it's great for the Lynk Co crowd, I think. Hopefully we can put on a good show today. It looked really good yesterday, so I'm hoping for the best now in qualifying.
You guys go in for the driver's title with 2 drivers. You're also going for the team's title. So it is I guess it's going to be a very important weekend for you. Just tell us about the 2 drivers. You've got Jan, you've got Ted, both up there. Are there any team orders in play, or is it a case of they're just going out for themselves this weekend?
I mean, it's so close, so it's basically everyone just needs to go for it. Of course, those are prioritized because they are the only ones fighting for the driver title, so they are prioritized, but amongst them, it's just go for it and see who goes fastest.
Tell us a little bit about free practice, which you just mentioned. FP1, FP2, 2 totally different conditions, wet and dry. You guys were at the top of both sessions. Clearly, you got some good settings dialed in there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a challenging one with a mixed condition, as you said, but I think we came here with a good base car, and if you have that, you're performing well both on wet and dry, and the drivers really like the track, I must say. So, yeah, we were lucky. We were on top.
Good luck to the team.
Thank you so much.
Okay, that's Frederick there. I'd also like to speak to, if I can, Gabriele Tarquini from BRC Hyundai, mainly because he has Mikael, and he also has Norby as well, who's going for the driver's title. In fact, he's actually leading by 25 points at the moment. It'll be nice to get a few words from him, just to grab his thoughts before the qualifying session. Gabriele, just a few words. I was just telling everyone at home, mathematically, it is possible for Norby to win the driver's title this weekend. Are you aware of that? Is he aware of that? And how's he feeling coming into the weekend?
No, to be honest, it will be almost impossible. Okay, mathematically possible, but I mean, our race is like very short and everything can happen. So our target is to focus on the driver championship and to keep his position on fighting the title. That's the target.
Let's talk a little bit about Mikael. Of course, he has an outside chance as well. In terms of the team's approach, will he be helping his teammate, or will he be looking after himself this weekend?
No, I'm sure that's a team job. I mean, the other 2 drivers must help him because yesterday the test wasn't really good for us. So the dry. I mean, on the wet, we felt a little bit more competitive than in the dry, but now the condition is 50-50, but it will be completely dry. Probably the first race.
Best of luck, Gabriele. Thanks for chatting to us. Good luck to BRC Hyundai there. I'd also like to grab a few words with, if I can, team manager Pepe Oriola from GOAT Racing. Obviously, they're a new team coming into this year, but they are competitive. They have Esteban Guerreri, who's second at the moment in the standings, just 25 points off the lead. Let's grab a few words with him to get his thoughts. Hey, Pepe. Hopefully you can hear me. I was just telling everyone at home, Esteban, second in the standings at the moment, 25 points off the lead. How's he feeling coming into this weekend?
Well, after this long break, it was really important that all the cars were running properly, because after the long overseas container, sometimes you have some problems. So the cars were running perfectly yesterday in FP1 and FP2. Now it's the time of the weekend, which is qualifying. Let's hope that the rain will respect the qualifying. We will be there fighting for the top positions as we were the whole year on the podium all the time.
Tell us a little bit about the long break. Obviously, we had Uruguay a couple of months ago now. It seems like so long ago. What do you guys do in between in terms of testing? Do you spend much time together as a team?
Well, as this team is also running TCR Europe, we were in some TCR Euro races. We also had some testing to try to improve a bit the car, because we are struggling in comparing with the Hyundais and the Lynk Co's. We are the brand that is a bit more far in terms of development, also in budget. So yeah, trying to improve the car, and also 2 weeks before this race, we did a team building day in Valencia with all the drivers, so they get up to speed again, and yeah, we try to try to have a good team.
In the development of the car, when you guys the World Series, there was a lot of question marks being a new team. Obviously, it's a new role for you as the team manager, but you are competitive. Esteban's just 25 points of the lead. Did you expect to be so competitive so soon?
Well, I mean, the team is new, but we have people with a lot of experience. Myself, I was not in this role, but I've been in TCR since the day it born. And the combination of Jazz Motorsport also supporting us, the people who was also in Seat Sport back in the days in Spain. So it was a structure new, but with people without experience. But yeah, we didn't even expect ourselves to be fighting for the top positions with brands that they have been here for 5 years, and also in terms of budget. Our budget is not even the 5% of the whole budget of the rest. We have 3 cars, and we are not fully factory supported, but we are trying to do our best, so one day we get the full support of Honda.
So your role as team manager, you have a few extra grey hairs then this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's not been easy. I have to learn a lot of things, exporting, importing. We also add 1 car in the middle of the season from Marrakesh. Okay. So this was not easy to bring the car to Marrakesh, put it in the container, change the carnet, ATA. So I'm learning a lot, but I think it's really nice that it's being successful, the project so far. We'll try to win the championship, of course, okay. But what we did already, for us, the objective is already marked. So now it will be even more than what expected. Thank you.
Pepe, thanks for chatting to us. I know you're busy. Good luck to this weekend. Okay, good luck to all the guys. We're almost ready for the qualifying session now. It's back to commentary.
Wait. We have to exchange phone numbers because I have so many pictures.
Thank you very much, Lisa Leyland down there in pit lane. Paul Jeffrey up here in the commentary box, and a very good morning to you all. We're back. It's been a long break, but now it is time for qualifying ahead of rounds 11 and 12 of the 2024 Kumho FIA TCR World Tour. And of course, this time we're joined with the TCR China field as well. So we've got 28 cars on the grid around this beautiful Zhuzhou circuit, international circuit here in China, 3.774 kilometres or around 2.345 miles, 14 turns, 9 to the left and 5 to the right. And we've got a lap record of around a 1 minute 44 flat from Jason Zhang earlier in this season. Will that lap record be broken today? We'll find out when qualifying commences in a few moments' time. We've got onboard cameras with a few drivers as well. Ma Qinghua from the Lynk Co Cyan Racing team, Norbert Mikulis from the BRC Hyundai N Squadra Corsa team, and then for our TCR China colleagues, it's Mac Pro Racing and Martin Z, and Lynk Co Teamwork Motorsport and Jason Zhang. You can see the air temperature is 21 degrees centigrade here on track. The weather conditions, we've had a little bit of a break from the rain and thunderstorms, thankfully, coming into this qualifying. So we are set for in perfect weather conditions to go forward and see who's going to start where ahead of the 2 races that we've got set this weekend. First race of which, of course, comes a little bit later on today, 13:40 local time. That's 7:40 CEST, and then we go again tomorrow for round 12 of what has been a very, very exciting 2024 campaign indeed. Anybody who's new to the world of the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour, let me take this opportunity to offer you a big hello and welcome to the TCR family. We've had a great year so far in 2024. Our championship could not be tighter. Leyland mentioned to the touring car legend that is Gabriele Tarquini down on pit. Theoretically, Norbert Mikulis could wrap the championship up this weekend. However, quite frankly, that will require something of a miracle for the Hungarian driver. We've got just 33 points separating our top 5. 10 drivers are mathematically in contention for the title. But really, this weekend, it's all about bringing that number down and down ahead of the championship decider. Where else but Macau next time around. Who is going to be the one that scores big? Qualifying is going to be important. A refresh, if you didn't already know this, of how qualification works in the World Tour. We're going to have 2 sessions. This is qualifying number 1 for all cars. It will last for 20 minutes. At the end of this session, the top 12 quickest drivers will progress to a 10-minute Q2. Those drivers will go out for that 10 minutes. They'll set their times, the top 10 of which will be the top 10 for the race 1 grid, and reversed for race 2. 11th from 12th will start 11th from 12th in both races, and 13th on down will start in their positions in both races. Little bit of there'll be some points on offer for the final results in qualification, so for our championship it's going to be very, very important indeed to go out there, get a good grid spot, obviously, which is very important for the racers, but also bank those critical points for their own particular Kumho FIA TCR World Tour title challenge. As you can see already, some cars are out on track. Martin Z is from the TCR China field. He's in one of the Hondas, car number 55, the Mac Pro racing team. He's in the FL5 TCR Type R Honda Civic. Of course, this weekend, 28 cars on track. We've got 11 nationalities, 12 teams, 6 models from 4 manufacturers. And we've got, of course, a certain former world champion that's back for this weekend. And for Macau, Rob Huff has slotted in to the second Volcano Motorsport seat. Car number 179, the Englishman. We're expecting to get back into the swing of things quite quickly, I would imagine. As there we go, across the line, and we begin qualification. It's been very much a Lynk Co Cyan racing benefit, it has to be said, over the course of the 2 free practice sessions, interrupted by a little bit of spicy weather for FP2, but it's Santiago Urrutia from Ma Qinghua and Jan Elishay in our first free practice session, topping out the times, and then in FP2, Santi again was the quickest from Jan Elishay and Ma Qinghua, and Ted Bjork making it a Lynk Co Cyan racing 1, 2, 3, 4. So on home ground, it does look like the Blue Machines have a bit of an advantage over those around them. However, practice, as we always say, is one thing, qualifying is a very different one. And certainly in the case of Jan Elishay, it does seem a little bit of bad luck has followed the French driver this season. So you absolutely cannot count everything as being a done deal until that checkered flag waves a little bit further down. Ma Qinghua, home hero. He's going to be looking to add to his impressive haul of trophies over the last couple of seasons. The Kumho FIA TCR World Tour, car number 155. Very much will have of the crowds here in China focused upon him. Very popular driver is Ma, of course. One of those drivers that are having a solid season this year, although quite haven't been as consistent as maybe Ma would have liked coming into the year. Hoping to pick that up and carry recent good form forwards into a strong result. Had a bit of a difficult time last round in Uruguay. So for Ma, it's all about impressing in front of the home crowd. And he's the first one across the time with a 1:44.887. That sends Ma to the top of the timing tree. Elishay slots up in a second position. Urrutia into third. Ted Bjork up in a fourth as well. Martin Z is back in pit lane already, has been an early pace setter. Bebu Girolami now jumps up. Mikel Afkona into third position as well, so right on cue. Here are the BRC Hyundai N Squadron course of machines, the Hyundai Elantra N. Not been great, Gabriele mentioned. They were more comfortable in the wet weather earlier in the weekend when the circuit's a little bit drier. Perhaps that car is just struggling for a little bit of pace, it seems. Although Norbert Mikkelis is his motto this season, to bank those points when they're available, go for the big results. But it does seem that Mikkelis is using consistency very much to his advantage as things stand. Mikel Afkona, not quite as consistent, the Spaniard, in the second of the 3 cars. But again, very quick himself. 5th in the standings, only 33 behind Norbeck at the top of the timing tables. So Mikkelis certainly, sorry, not Mikkelis, Afkona certainly still has an opportunity to fight for the title this year. He'll be keen to keep his hopes alive heading into Macau, which is next up on the schedule for us on the weekend of the 14th to the 17th of November. staying with Norbert. Then a green second sector. Lap from Mikel Azcona as things 6. Not quite on the pace of marching well. Fastest driver, Mar crosses the line of 44.887. Is the time for Mar at this moment, so he's doing great with the provisional quickest time in Q1. Through the final corner for Azcona. Can he do anything in the third sector to improve? He does cross the line in second position, so he moves ahead of Bebu Girolami. But it's not quite enough as things stand at this moment in time to get in touch with the Lynk Co Cyan Racing Machine and Marching Bar at the top of the field. Down in 12th place, by the way. Who have we got down in 12? It is Martin Chow as things stand. So Martin Chow is the last of the drivers that will be progressing through to Q1 if things stay as they are. Although I'm saying that one, and immediately things change. Martin moves up a couple of spots in a 10th. Up at a 12 goes... there's been a few changes since I've done that one. My time screen's a little bit slower. The telly, which makes it a little bit more difficult for qualifying, but we'll deal with that one later on. Let's get our first look at John Filippi. 2 Volcano Motorsports cars, 2 of the Audis this weekend. John Filippi will be hoping to use the opportunity to have a driver, a former race winner, a former world champion in Rob Huff alongside him. This is a great opportunity. It is for French driver John Filippi to really show what he's made of, show how he performs against absolute known quality in Rob Huff. Huffy, of course, has spent this season away from the World Tour, racing on home soil. So he's back into a TCR car this weekend for the first time in a good 8 months. But nevertheless, that kind of class, that kind of quality and experience for Rob Huff is absolutely invaluable. And if the likes of John Filippi can stay within shouting distance of his new teammate for this weekend, then it will definitely do a lot of good for the young French driver's stock. Stay with John now. Green personal best, second sector, but 1.2 tenths of a second away from the quickest time. Filippi down in 13th place as things stand. Hopefully for John, a little bit of traffic ahead of him won't be too much of a hindrance, and he can complete his lap relatively unimpeded. See what he can do without sneaking himself more firmly. In fact, he decides enough is enough on that one and elects to go down pit lane to that traffic, really put him to get a strong time on the board. Filippi will, of course, jump down pit lane. Kumho boots on that car. And then roll the dice again. We've still got 11 minutes and 52 seconds left of this qualification 1 session. It is still marching Hua as the fastest driver from Mikel Azcona. Bebu Girolami's 3rd quickest, so good effort from the BRC squad, 2nd and 3rd as things stand. Jan Aleshe, good enough for 4th. At the moment ahead of Santiago Arruti and Ted Bjork in 6th. Our championship leader, Norbert Mikulis, only 7th at this moment in time. He's in pit lane. Marco Butti in 8th place. Dusan Borkovic, solid result in 9th. And then Jason Zhang is currently the quickest of the TCR China competitors in 10th, just ahead of Rainy He in 11th position. The calm before the storm somewhat. In pit lane there is the home star, marching Hua. Just waiting for the optimal time. Really is Formula One-esque the way that this Lynk Co Cyan Racing team go about their racing, from the presentation in pit lane to the way that they commend themselves on circuit and in pit road. It really is an absolutely incredible outfit. Is the Cyan Racing squad. Very, very impressive to see. Everything's locked down. They know exactly where they need to be, how they need to be there, and what they need to do on cue. They've got 4 incredibly fast drivers, it had to be said, including this man, Ted Bjork, that we're looking at on screen, the 111, the Swedish driver, another former world champion. 3rd place in the standings, currently 29 behind Norbert Mikulis. On a run of great form, having took a victory and a podium as well last time out at El Pinar. Ted Bjork is absolutely loving life in touring cars at this moment in time, and really seems to be in a rich vein of form. Is a Swedish driver. Let's have a look what he can do in qualifying. Nearly 7 tenths to the deficit in sector 2. Doubtful that this is going to do much to improve Bjork's standing as things stand. 6th place. Remember, Q1, name of the game, the goal is to get in that top 12 and move through into Q2. That's where the grid positions are going to be set for our top 12 drivers. So Bjork won't be too worried at this moment in time, being down in 6th. It's all about securing the position he needs to secure. And through the final corner now, carry a lot of speed through that final corner. Accelerate up to the line. Does Bjork improve? Just about he does. 8 tenths away, a 45.588. The time improves, the position does not. He stays in 6th place. Does Ted Bjork. Let's have a look. Magic War still in pit lane. He's just exiting pit lane on an out lap as things stand. So Mar very comfortable, 3.5 tenths to the good at the head of the field. Rob Huff just moves up in a 9th position. There is Huffy, car number 179, wrapped in the Volcano Motorsport livery for these next 2 weekends. Seems a little bit strange, having got used to Rob in the Come2U Racing Audi colours alongside Fred Vervees last season. As I mentioned before, he's been out of the World Tour for this year, but Mr. Macau himself, but get back in to a TCR car for another stint and continuing to extend his record win streak at Macau next time around, using this as a warm-up race. But I'm sure for himself and Volcano will be hoping for a strong showing this weekend to dust off the TCR specific cobwebs. Very different car that he's been driving in the main game for himself this year. So he'll take a bit of reacclimatising, but he certainly knows this Audi very, very well indeed, if not quite the team, as well as he did his previous employer. Shouldn't take too long for Rob Huff to get back up to speed. That's a good first sector, personal fastest, 2 tenths down on the provisional quickest. Huffy needs to get a bit of a shake on, it has to be said. 10th position, not a comfortable place to be in qualifying. A little bit closer perhaps to the drop zone than Rob Huff would prefer to be. Through the second sector, still a personal fastest, but 6 tenths in arrears this time. As things stand at the moment, Huff is 1.3 away from the quickest, so he is trending towards improvement. Big question is exactly how much he's going to improve. What can he do through this fight? A little bit tricky here at the Zhuzhou circuit. In fact, Huff decides not enough lap time in the car at this moment, not worth completing the lap, so he dies down pit lane to 179. Is up into 7th position. Here's one of our Chinese competitors, that is Zhuzhou. Dusan Borkovic up into 11th as well, the GOAT Racing Honda driver. As Huff comes down pit lane, Volcano ready to pounce upon the Audi. Only 6 minutes 50 seconds on the clock. So certainly some time to get out there, try and improve your lot in life. Let's take a look then at those that are outside that all-important top 12. Let's have a look, see if there's any big names that we need to be interested in. In terms of the World Tour, Rob Huff down in 13th place, John Filippi down in 15th position. There's certainly plenty of work for them to do. Sunny Wong down in 19th as well as the Teamworks Motorsport Lynk Co. Expect to see Sunny run in order under normal circumstances. We'll keep an eye on that one. Doing great work as well. One of the other Lynk Co Teamwork Motorsports machines in 7th place at this moment in time. That's a great qualifying session. As things stand, he'll be hoping to continue that one in that level of form. See how the Chinese competitors stack up against their world counterparts. They're certainly doing impressive work at this moment in time. Here's the 27 and the 87. Victor Chan being, of course, the 27, the 87 being Man So Ming at this moment in time, a pair of Hondas. Where are they in running order? I'm not quite sure. 20th, there we go, and 25th positions respectively. So a little bit of work to do for both drivers, both on personal quickest laps, but they've got to trip up over each other, running in quite so close succession. There is a slipstreaming opportunity here at the Zhuzhou circuit. But realistically speaking, you need a bit of clean air on that front splitter to give you the best chance possible of going forward and setting the optimal lap time for yourself. In fact, the 27 of Victor Chan does seem to be gapping now the car behind. whether they're working to find a bit of space on the track or whether that's a pure pace deficit. Not quite sure. We'll see what the timing screens say in a few moments' time. We saw briefly there Esteban Gurriere. He's a surprise championship contender, up in second in the standings for Gurriere. At this moment in time, 25 points adrift of Norbert Michaelis, and as Lisa Leyland mentioned in pit lane when speaking to the GOAT Racing team manager Pepe Oriola, first time the squad have raced in 2024. They've been a very, very impressive outfit indeed. Marco Bucci, one of the stars of the future for sure, the young Italian driver. Of course, Esteban Gurriere returning to touring cars after a brief foray in prototype racing, and he's picked right up where he left off, and he's very much at the sharp end of the grid is Esteban. Podium last time out, of course. Needs a big point scoring day this weekend to really help his own personal championship charge. This is John Filippi, currently in 15th place. Green sector 1, standard sector 2. We'll find out if he improves as Rob Huff starts his lap in the 179. 2 Volcano Motorsports cars on the track this weekend, always good to see. Great to see that the second car vacated by Sami Taufik, the Moroccan driver, didn't make it through to see the completion of the season, but it does give us the opportunity to welcome with open arms Rob Huff back onto the world stage, and he's doing a great job, is Huffy, as things stand. Need a little bit more pace though. 13th place is not where he wants to be at this moment in time, but there's a little bit of an off. Thankfully, we're back on track again. Victor Chan keeps the car running, returns to the circuit. No need to worry too much about any kind of untoward interventions. We remain unbroken for the final 3 minutes. Up into the 9th position goes Z, so that's a good time. Up into 9th place. The number 4 Micro Racing Team Honda Civic driver. Another one of our Chinese drivers alongside Zhu, up in 7th place. So 2 drivers in the TCR China field as things stand within that all-important top 12. John Filippi is in pit lane, so life's getting very much more difficult for the French driver. He's not got a lot of time to get those tyres on and get back out and try and set another time. I do think, in fact, Filippi run foul of the clock a little bit as things stand. Huffy, fast. Well, fastest sector 2, a little bit of traffic in front though, that's not going to be a problem. 14th position as things stand. Crosses the line and improves, but doesn't improve his standing. He's back out on track, just there you saw briefly at the back of your shot, so he's going to have another roll of the dice, but Huffy in a bit of strife as things stand, 1.2 away from the quickest time. But all importantly for Rob Huff, just over a 10th away from progressing into Q2. He's got time on the clock. Does he have meat in the tyres to go again? Here's Ted Bjork, uncharacteristically a little bit further down in 10th. Jan Elishay on screen, in fact, sorry, my mistake. Ted Bjork on the timing screen. Jan Elishay, though, in your pictures. Jan having a quiet time as things stand. Up in 5th position is the Frenchman. Elishay looking relatively comfortable at this juncture to make it through into Q2. Of course, he'll be hoping that the times improve to help his overall time delta. But as things stand, it is mission accomplished for this early stage of qualifying. Dusan Borkovic, by the way, just drops down into 13th place. So Borkovic not having a great time of it in the Honda Civic, the GOAT Racing machine. He's got a couple attempts to find, or a 10th, or just under a 10th, in fact, to find. From Zhang, currently holding on to that 12th position. So Dusan Borkovic, one we'll keep half an eye on as well on the timing screen, should it ever decide to run up to date, which would always be helpful. Keep an eye on that one. A little bit of refresh, see if that does anything well. We'll find out. So far, so good. Yifan, you can see there, just moves up in a 16th position as well as he crosses the line with a 46.3. Yifan improves his time. Let's keep our eye on though Jan Elishay, personal fastest, 2nd sector. Good time from the French driver. Final sector though is where everybody seems to be making the big wins and the losses around this Zhuzhou circuit. Little bit crossed up through the final corner for Elishay. Nothing he can do now but hold on to the loud pedal. Crosses the line with a 45.508. Time stays in 5th position. That's Elishay's qualifying done. Santi Urrutia is currently marching where Mikel Azcona just crosses the line now to complete his time. Girolami down pit lane in position number 4, but both the driver and Huff and John Philippi, 3 World Tour 12 as things stand. They do have time. They have the pace. Jason Zhang is currently the last of the drivers that are going to make it through into Q2. Jason doing a great job up there in 12th. A little bit further, Martin Z up in 10th as well. David Zhu up in 8th position. So 3 drivers from Chinese field are making it through into Q2 as things stand. Borkovic and Huff don't look like they're on a lap that is going to be quick enough to get them through. John Philippi still on track, still setting personal fastest times. Philippi down in 15th place as things stand, 1.6 away from the outright pace. He needs to find a good 4-5 tenths of a second if he's going to move forward. As we pick up Huffy, that's his teammate. He's electing to dive down pit lane. That is Philippi. Does he do enough? He does move up, but not into the top 12. So 13th place at the line. He beats teammate Rob Huff by just under a tenth of a second. But 13th, 14th and 15th, would you have predicted that one coming into qualifying? I most certainly would not. Filipe Borkovic and Rob Huff not making it through into Q2. It's going to be a weekend of surprises, methinks, here in China. And that is very much our first surprise of the weekend done and dusted. Great qualifying though. Credit where credit's due. Jason Zhang in the Lynk Co teamwork machine in 12th. Martin Z for the Mac Pro racing car up in 10th position. David Zhu, another one of the Lynk Co teamwork motorsports machine, all the way up there in 8th position. Great pace from the TCR China competitors. And plenty of head scratching, I am absolutely sure, will be done of Volcano Motorsports and for the GOAT racing car of Dusan Borkovic as well. There's all 3 of those drivers, and there is the big Serbian Dusan Borkovic, only man in the world that makes me look short. Great driver is Dusan, very experienced, 30 years in the game, the Serbian driver, and he will be frustrated. I am absolutely certain of that one. So there's our provisional Q1 results then. Santi Urrutia from Ma Qinghua, Mikel Azcona and Bebu Girolami. Ted Bjork from Jan Elishay, Esteban Gurrieri, David Zhu in 8th, Marco Butti in 9th and 10th position for Martin Z. 11th goes to Norbert Mikulis, and then 12th place is Jason Zhang. In 13th is John Philippi from Dusan Borkovic and Rob Huff in 15th. They're the big stories of qualifying. Philippi, Borkovic and Huff. They'll be starting in 13th, 14th and 15th places respectively for both racers. 3.8 seconds covering our top 28 drivers. It's going to be tight. Cover pretty much the top 21 drivers or so. It's only a short circuit, plenty of opportunity to get involved in drama as well. Definitely setting ourselves up very nicely indeed. So then, qualification 1 over and done with. As I said at the top of the show, for qualification 2, we take the top 12 fastest drivers from that Q1 session. That's why we're so excited about who was on the bubble in 12th and 13th places respectively. Those top 12 drivers go forward. 2, they set their times. And that sets the top 12 for. The key is top 10 are reversed for race 2, i.e. whoever gets the fastest time in this next session will start for race 1 and then will be in 10th for race 2. So let's go down to pit lane and have a quick word with Dusan Borkovic.
Speak to the team manager, he's perhaps a little bit more calm. Okay, Dusan's going back in the car. Maybe I can try and get Pepe, just to see what's actually happened here, because it didn't look like he went through that session.
Okay, sorry about that one. We were going to interview Dusan Borkovic, but somebody told him to get back in his car and go qualifying. And I must say, I've seen a strange thing on my timing screen, that it does look like Dusan. I'm not quite sure what's happening. I'll be perfectly honest with you folks at home. There has been a little bit of a shuffling in the live timing screen, which suggests that perhaps we've put a timing screen error, or there's been a little bit confusion. Not quite sure. I'll come back to you on that one, but let's concentrate then on this Q2, because one thing I do know for certain is the timing clock is now ticking back down again. I am kind of hearing from a few people there's been a little bit of timing screen confusion trackside. Not quite sure exactly what's happened. Borkovic was going back in there as a bit of a safety net, but whether he quite makes it. In fact, Borkovic, John Philippi and Rob Huff are not in Q2, so the timing screen confusion caught me out, and it certainly caught the teams out as well by the looks of it. There is Dusan Borkovic though, heading out on a pit lane, so interesting times. We'll follow that one. We'll work out exactly what's happening when everybody knows themselves. Very confusing. Anyway, let's get back to our scheduled programming, methinks, and see what's happening then in the session. There is Borkovic, rightly or wrongly, out on the racetrack. 22 seconds left in this qualifying, and all the big championship challengers, all the big drivers, Nicholas Gurrieri, Bjork, Elisha, Athkona, Girolami, Ma, for example, are all through into quali. There is the volcano of Rob Huff, so I think the error has perhaps been picked up now. They've been recalled to the racetrack. Martin Z, that we're looking at now. First time we've really got a chance to see Martin Z. TCR China competitor, of course. One of those drivers that is third position in the TCR China standings. He's got 265 points, plays the 277 of Jason Zhang at the head of the field. So Martin very much in contention for the TCR China Championship this year. They'll be hoping for a big weekend. It's very difficult for these TCR China drivers to be welcoming the Kumho FIA World Tour. It becomes difficult to keep a focus because you've got a job to do, of course. You've got a job to do in your own championship, and much as you want to be racing against the world competitors, at the same time you also really do need to focus on your own personal task in hand as well. Taking a look at Huffy in pit lane. Certainly testing the stress factor of this new team relationship, it has to be said. Huffy, though, is certainly not showing up on our timing screens at this moment in time, so I don't think he's going to be making it through. Dusan Borkovic is there, but I think that is erroneous on site, and don't expect Borkovic to play any further part as we ride on board. Now we'll ride with, should I say, Martin Z, the Mac Pro Racing team. It's the FL5 Honda Civic, the new Honda Civic that's been campaigned in such fine style by Goat Racing in the World Tour. Been very competitive as well in the TCR Europe Series. Took it all the way down to the line in that particular championship. So we know the car's quick. Z crosses the line. Third quickest as things stand, but it is a bit of a case of feeling out the times as things go. Some bank collapse are getting set. Santiago Arrutia quickest with a 44.934 as things stand. Jan Elisha in second position. No, but Mikolas just jumps up into third place. On my timing screen, appears again almost instantly, so that must have been a lap deleted for Nobe. Gabriele Rizzo, Gabriele Tarquini looking on pensively. Red Bull Girolami there, being wheeled back into the garage. They've got time, of course. Get a fresh set of tyres on that car. Check exactly what they need to check. Make sure everything's okay with the driver. Plug the laptop in. And then they get to go back out again on this 2.345 mile circuit. Ted Bjork on a quick lap as well through the final corner. 111 looks to set his first time of the session. It's good enough for quickest. Ted Bjork with a 44.835. Very nice time indeed by the Swedish driver. He's our current provisional pole sitter. It does seem like all sorts of timing shenanigans are going on at this moment in time, so it's a little bit hard to follow, but Ted does look like he's the quickest driver as things stand. That's Mikael Kona. Laptop in, because it's the modern world, of course. Everything works on a computer, it seems, nowadays. Gone are the days of hitting things with a spanner. Plug the laptop in, but Kona and the BRC team seem relatively confident. Just waiting for their opportunity, waiting for a bit of gap out on the racetrack. Red Bull Girolami there, of course, as well. Norbert Mikulis, fourth quickest. So the World Tour leader at this moment in time. Norbert Mikulis is currently in fourth position with a 45.462. So a good 0.6 of a second away from the pace at this moment in time. Martin Z, fabulous job thus far as well for the number 55. He's in fifth position. Car we're just looking at there is Jason Zhang's machine. That is the number. Where is Jason? I'm just having a quick look on my timing screen. He's down in 11th, is the 36th at this moment in time. Jason will certainly be looking for a good weekend. He's the leader of the TCR China standings as things stand. Green personal, sector 1. We're right on board now with the Lynk Co racing. The Teamwork Motorsports Lynk Co car. First chance really on board to have a look at this beautiful circuit here in China. Perhaps a little bit less known to the international viewers, but it's certainly a track that's absolutely great for touring car racing. Expected to really put up a good show a little bit later on this afternoon when we do our first race, round 11 of the series. We're right on board now. This is one of the best overtaking spots on the circuit. You can get too wide here. It's relatively wide on corner exit. There's some runoff to your left-hand side as well, which is a great opportunity for the drivers. They can get a bit aggressive, and they've got to get out of jail-free cars. There's again, final few cars heading out on the pit lane. Ted Bjork on pit road at this moment in time. Can Zhang do anything? Front of the nose dips in hard on the brakes. I love those teeth on the front grille, famous for the Teamwork Lynk Co colours. They've got a little bit darker this year, more black, predominantly red in years gone by, but I do like the new colour scheme. I must say, on that machine, and can Jason Zhang do anything about improving his lot in life? Crosses the line, stays in 11th position, fails to sector 3. Really is where the time loss came for the Lynk Co driver. 2 minutes on the clock. It's not going to have a great deal of time to get back down. York is still on pit road as well. Got several drivers out now. Santi Arruti, Jan Elishay, Norbert Mikulis, Z, Ma Jinghua are all exiting pit lane or on their starter laps. As we take a look at Norbert Mikulis warming the tyres, leading the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour coming into this weekend, of course. 25 points is the advantage over S. Norby will be looking for a strong result, a shake of the head. Clearly unimpressed by the shenanigans that started Q2. Here is Mikael Kona then. Where is Mikael? Currently yet to set a representative time is the Spaniard. 28-year-old Spanish driver Mikael Kona, multiple race winner, of course, at the top level of touring cars, multiple champion, of course, at the top level of touring cars. Fabulous, fabulous driver. For so long, he was the young hotshot. He was the next up-and-coming thing, but now Kona very firmly established himself in the here and now as one of the absolute bar setters for the level. Being a touring car driver, cocks the wheel in touring car style, a little bit deep, in fact, actually, into the chicane. That kind of compromises the second part of the corner. A great. That's going to hurt him a little bit, I think, in sector 2. So he goes up against Ted Bjork. Snatch the brake, no such problem. late apex, try and get the launch off the corner. Behind him, Bebo Girolamo is a couple of tenths down, so Girolamo not quite on point at this moment in time. Very fast, despite running deep in the chicane, a very fast second sector from Mikel Azcona, fastest of all to the second part of the racetrack. This is a good lap for Azcona. Santi Urrutia on a quick lap as well. He's got a great sector one, faster than Ted Bjork has gone so far. Good sector two for Urrutia as well, but let's stay with Mikel Azcona for now. Not a great deal you can do as a driver here apart from absolutely send it through the final turn. Stay within the confines of track limits. Azcona in 11th position. Will this be good enough to improve his lot? It is, but it is only good enough for the head of the second row of the grid. Bebo Girolamo crosses the line in 9th position, perhaps playing the reverse grid race 2 game as we've seen so many times this year. Across the line comes the Lynk Co machine as well. There we go. That is provisional pole. Santiago Urrutia, as we've seen in FP1 and FP2, when it matters, the Uruguayan driver has the pace and then some. Urrutia goes quickest of all. Ted Bjork down into second position. Ted is on another lap though, so he has another opportunity. There are the two GOAT racing cars looking across the line as well. Jan Aleshe at the back, in fact, Marcin Hua, my apologies, at the back of the shot as well, crosses the line. But Ted Bjork was so long the fastest driver. Teammate Santiago Urrutia takes over that spot. There is Ted. He's not going to improve on this lap. There is Santi, we see on screen. He is still on a lap, but I don't think he needs to worry too much about that one. Lynk Co almost affording themselves a bit of a smile in pit lane. Pensive looking for Fredrik Wallin that you saw just at the back of your shot. As Paul was marshalling the troops from the front of the grid. Urrutia then still on a hard lap, but I don't think Santi needs to worry too much. Who else is out there on a time lap? Not really any of the drivers that I think we need to worry too much about, so I think it is, provisionally at least, a pole position for Santiago Urrutia. Fabulous job from Santi. Martin Z all the way up there in 7th place as well as the quickest of our TCR China drivers. David Zhu in 11th and Jason Zhang rounding out the top 12. So fabulous stuff then from the Lynk Co Cyan Racing Team. 1, 2, 3 on home soil in China. That's a very strong performance. Will help their Teams Championship Challenge as well. They lead that one 517 to 484. So a 33-point advantage coming into qualifying for Lynk Co Cyan Racing over the BRC Hyundai Squadra Corsa team. Whoa, did it give you much opportunity to breathe? Take a look then at the provisional results from qualifying 2. It is Santiago Urrutia on provisional pole position from Ted Bjork, with Jan Aleshe Kona occupying the second row of the grid. Norbert Miklis, Esteban Gurrieri are in 5th. 7th is Martin Z from Marcin Hua in 8th. Marco Butti 9th from Nestor Girolamo in 10th. David Zhu in 11th and Jason Zhang in 12th position. If things stay like this one after the stewards have had a look, it'll be reverse pole for Bebo Girolamo, which is a very impressive performance from Bebo up there in 10th place. But the plaudits have to go to Santiago Urrutia, of course. That is a beautiful, there he is, just going into the scrutineering bay just to get everything checked, although there's a bit of a logjam. There's a Hyundai there, so we'll back that one out. But Santiago Urrutia, absolutely the form man here in China. Came in for FP1 and FP2 as the quickest of everybody, and then into qualifying itself, a 44.684 is good enough for that provisional pole position, and he'll be very happy about that one. Will Urrutia indeed. Currently down in 8th position in the standings, 74 adrift. As I say, 10 come into this weekend as mathematically contenders, but I think we're going to be thinning that one down at the checkered flag tomorrow afternoon. And Santiago Urrutia will be desperate to be one of those drivers that are in the sharp end of the conversation when it comes to being in contention for the title in Macau next month. There is the man of the moment. Muted celebrations at this stage, of course. We've got a little bit of business to go through scrutineering. but that will be a very, very satisfied Santiago Urrutia indeed. Exactly what the Uruguayan driver needed, and delivered very, very nicely indeed. Difficult time on home soil at El Pinar last time around. Bounced back in the best way possible. Well played from Santi. Very well played indeed. A little bit of a cheer. Looks a little bit tired to Santi on that shot, doesn't he? Not quite as cheerful as we normally see. So while we watch everybody preparing, I do think we've got an interview down on pit lane with Lisa Leyland. So let's head on down.
Santi, good job. You were fast in the 3 practice sessions yesterday. You're now on pole for the first race. Clearly you have a good feeling out on track.
No, it's home race for Lynk Co, so I'm very happy, to deliver the pole and then so really good. It's good for the Drivers' Championship for Ted that he collect good points, but the main thing, which is the team points as well, we collect the biggest point. So yeah, I'm happy. I've been quick since free practice, P1 in every session, P1 in Q1 and P1 in Q2. So thank you to Cyan, they give me an awesome car. Still have a lot of work to do, so today is the first race. Let's see what the weather looks like, it can rain or can be dry, so yeah, but I'm happy.
Good luck for the race. Thank you.
A very happy Santiago Urrutia then down there on pit lane, having taken that pole position. And here's a little bit of a risky business for a commentator, some mental maths courtesy of my colleague Neil Hudson. Norbert Miklis will remain the championship leader after qualifying if things stay as they are. He'll improve his point score to 248 points, 23 adrift of now new second place man Ted Bjork. So Bjork closes the gap and moves himself up into second in the standings. Esteban Guerrieri will be 27 points back in third. Elishay 39 in arrears in fourth. Lafkona 41 back in fifth position. So Mick Lafkona's done a solid job to help out his standings. There are the results again from qualification 2. And of course, it is a reverse grid top 10. And here you go. These are the points confirmation after qualifying is all said and done. Provisional, of course, as always. And that is Bjork moved up into second position. So that's worked out very, very nice indeed for Ted Bjork. That run of form continues for the Swedish driver. Esteban Guerrieri dropping down into third place, of course. So, let's remember then, we're racing again a little bit later on this afternoon, 7:40 CEST, 13:40 local time. Make sure you tune into the TCR TV YouTube channel to catch all the racing action.